I saw this email as usual from change.org, but this time around it said she creates change. I was like, ooh, that sounds nice.
Hand in hand on the warm sand we are walking.
I was so excited the moment I got that email. I was like, my God, I just hope this works out, you know.
In your eyes, I see blue skies reflection.
I'm 62 and I was so happy that nowhere did they ask the age, because I always feel now age will be a factor for not being involved in stuff. So when I got the email, I can't explain to you my sense of excitement.
Let it always be a sunny day.
We've noticed that women on change.org in India, the ratio is not the same, the gender ratio is not the same. There are lesser women using the platform. Even though there were fewer women than men using the platform and being change makers, it was mostly women who won campaigns. Women won campaigns more, mostly because they used the power of storytelling a lot more. They mobilized more and brought the community around a lot more.
A lot of women come with an idea, something that they want to change, something that affects them personally. They just don't know how to go about it.
So I had come with a very basic idea of my campaign. Like I knew that what I wanted and what will my campaign be about, but to form in such a way to grab attention and have people support was not actually coming.
So what we're trying to do here in these 5 days is equip them with those skills that can help them in achieving or arriving at a campaign.
I just thought, oh my God, if I can meet so many more people, 2 heads are better than 1, many heads are better than 2. And I think it'll be really good if I can get ideas from other people and figure out how better to go about this whole thing. I'm just dying to bring in so much more into this program.
Glad to be part of this space wherein everybody is coming from a different mindset, different campaign, different perception, and a lot of ideas would be there, a lot of strategies would come around, and it would be a great experience, I think.
She Creates Change program is built on the fundamental principle that people learn under 2 conditions. They learn best under 2 conditions. The first condition is that they feel safe, which is an environment where they are accepted, heard and appreciated, and it's an environment where the community is very inclusive and compassionate. The second condition under which people learn best is when they're having fun. And if you notice, the entire learning lab process, which is a week-long process where people are coming together, uses elements of theatre, design thinking, experiential learning, gaming, and a lot of group work and large group work. So people are often oscillating between I, that is the change maker, us, that is the whole community of change makers that's here, and finally the we, which is really in connection with the world outside. So at the end of it, they're here in this learning lab because they're trying to create a certain kind of impact outside.
I have always been interested to see how people on wheelchair move around in this society, and then how difficult it is for them and the struggles we go through to make the changes which is required for us to be part of a contributing citizens of the society.
Because I'm an architect and there are these causes that I care about, so I wanted what is one way that these causes can be affected using architecture and design.
The cause I'm passionate about is street dog population control, and to keep them safe for themselves and for the community.
To always work on child sexual abuse, because it's something that's affected me a lot.
Being a transsexual woman, what are the problems we're facing in society? How difficult it is to lead the life?
To eliminate female genital mutilation from our country, that is what I'm campaigning here for.
So the curriculum that we built looks at both of these things, that is developing campaigning skills as well as building community and community skills. How do you engage with community? The third thing which was really important for the design of this curriculum is storytelling. Because very often campaigns work when there is a very strong personal story, and many of the women who are coming here and are part of this have strong personal stories, or they know someone who has and are touched by those stories.
அவங்க வந்து எங்களுடைய குரூப்பை எது கூப்பிட்டாங்க, அவங்களுக்கு ஒரு இன்ஸ்பிரேஷன் கொடுக்கணுங்கிறதுக்காக. ஆனால் எனக்கு என்ன தோணித்து, அவங்கள பார்த்து எனக்கு ஒரு இன்ஸ்பிரேஷன் ஆச்சு. இப்போ சாதாரண மனுஷனால் அதை சாதிக்க முடியாத ஒரு விஷயத்தை change.org மூலமாக அந்த பெட்டிஷன் சைன் பண்ணுறது மூலமாக நிறைய பேருக்கு அது ஹெல்ப்ஃபுல்லாக இருந்திருக்கு.
The system of governance in India is a very complicated process. And while we might just look at one issue and say, this ministry or this department is responsible for creating the change that one person is asking for, when it actually comes to brass tacks and real life, it's not that easy. What some of the sessions at She Creates Change have been trying to do is to break that system of governance down for people, the change makers, to understand and go and implement them in their campaigns. Why is this important? It's important because they need to address their campaigns to the right person. They need to target right.
This is a really intense workshop. That's the first thing I've got to say. But it's really helping us frame our stuff better, refine our stuff better.
Something that's been cloud-like and cotton-like has suddenly become like a rock, but not like an obstacle rock, but a super strong rock. And it's a firm foundation, and suddenly my idea to fight child sexual abuse has become very broken down. It's become about play schools, it's become about one chain of play schools. And it's gotten form, and at the same time, a lot of people have shared, their stories with us, not just external speakers, but in groups as well. And that's helping us collaborate. We've got contact numbers from each other, we've got email IDs of people who could help, people who have expertise in this field. So it's already becoming real.
One of the interesting things about a learning lab like this is the variety of professions and variety of talent and this massive talent pool that we have. You have data analysts, you have fundraisers, you have Excel sheet masters, and you have great dancers, and then you have musicians, you have artists like me. And what's great is we've realized that each of us have a role to play. Music alone can't make a difference, data alone can't make a difference, and a confluence of all these energies is really what I think could affect some change.
So the session that really got me thinking is that it's not going to be so simple. I will have to do a lot of research, and the session on research has just made me pivot around, because normally I always dive into whatever I want to do without thinking and then start going back. But here I think I'll have to do a lot of preparatory work to understand what the Ministry of Health prescribes, etc. So it was a real awakening of my methodology.
I think I'm learning, and then I have reached a point wherein I defined the change and I found a decision maker.
We were guided on how to bring together to that one thing that we really wanted to happen. And from asking for lighting near all bus stations and metro stations, and last mile connectivity from the transport minister and lighting, I finally came down to just asking for solar street lamps near all of our Delhi metro stations, which are our safest transportation modes.
Focus more on your story and your ask to be able to not only grab attention from the people, but also ask them and make them emotional to actually come and join the movement together.
I'm super excited to start my campaign, which I'm going to be doing in another 5 minutes, and the feeling is so good because I've been working on this cause for the past 2 years, and I have seen very minimal change because it's something that requires every single person to put in their bit. And a campaign is probably the best way to get as many people as you want to actually come into helping you with what you're doing.
So I've just started or rather published my petition on change.org. Finally, it's day 4 today, and after 4 days of like extensively trying to figure out what we're wanting to do, I have managed to launch my petition, and it actually feels really good. It gives me the feeling that okay, I'm out there to make a bigger sort of change, and I'm actually like literally out there in the real world doing it. So far it had all been a campaign in my head with the idea that okay, yeah, this is what I want to do. So my petition is to actually get Starbucks to replace all their cups to recyclable cups across 101 stores in India. I'm excited about what lies ahead. I've got one signature, which is my own on my petition, which is the first step. But yeah, I'm excited about this and to see this change actually come about over the course of the next few months.
One day this forest catches fire and the blaze begins to sweep through the forest at a very rapid rate. And there is a parrot that lives on a sandalwood tree. And what does this bird do? She goes and plunges into a lake in the forest and comes up over this blaze and flaps her 2 little wings. So 2 little drops of water fall. And she goes again, plunges into the lake and comes back and flaps her 2 little wings. And again 2 drops of water fall. And the other animals and birds are laughing at her. They say, "What do you think you're doing?" And she turns to them and she says, "I'm doing what I can."
You can do this, just go ahead and do it. That's all. That's all. Sometimes the support is just that much. They don't get it. And so we wanted to see if we could bring a community of women together and see how they could support each other in multiplying the kind of social change impact they could have in this country. Therefore, she creates change.